Hey everyone, salam. So today we are going to be talking about elderberries because I made a batch of elderberry syrup. I still have a few available on the shop. I made it just a few days ago, so it still is very fresh. On my directions, it does say that you can keep it up into your refrigerator for about 2 to 3 months, but honestly, I'm just being cautious. You can really keep it much longer than that, so anyways, what you're seeing now is actually a small 4-ounce bottle. Because my shop is new, I wanted to offer a 4-ounce size for people who maybe don't even know what elderberry syrup is or what elderberries are. The elderberry syrup is sweetened with honey, and it's preserved with honey as well, which is why it can last up in the refrigerator for a few months. So let's go ahead and talk about elderberry. So elderberry syrup comes from the elderberry. This is what you're seeing right here. This is actually dried elderberries. I'll take some out so that you guys can see them here. They're just little teeny tiny berries here, and they're dried. So elderberries are not really to be eaten raw. The elder tree is actually quite toxic in itself, but once the berries are boiled down, whether they're fresh and you boil them down fresh, you freeze them, you dry them, you're going to actually want to simmer the berries and take the juice from the berries, and that's why you make it into a syrup. You can also use the elder flowers as well. So you can use the flowers like an herb, like an herbal infusion in oils and things like that. It's kind of recommended to stay away from things like the stems and the barks because it actually can induce nausea. Let's go ahead and kind of talk about what the benefits of taking something like an elderberry syrup would be. That way you can decide if you want to buy one on my Etsy shop. So my link to my Etsy shop, my direct link is actually in my bio on my profile, so you can go ahead and go there. But if you can remember it, if you want to type it in or something like that, it is just Peace Love Naturals US. I actually have a double deal going on right now for my 8-ounce, and I have a double deal going on for my 4 ounces. If you've never had elderberry syrup before, you might want to just try out the 4-ounce, because then at least you don't feel like you have tons that you really need to go through. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the wonderful benefits of elderberry syrup. So I do want to say that this is family friendly. Of course, it does have honey in it, so if you are concerned about feeding your child honey, especially if you have children that are under the age of 2, some people say 1, some people say 2, so you're the parent, you have to decide that for yourself. So this is a vitamin that kids want to take because it is sweet and it is juicy. It's definitely going to be sweet because you have to put enough honey in there to slightly preserve it, right? I have noticed though that if you infuse the elderberry with other herbs, some people like to put cinnamon or cloves or cardamom or ginger and things like that. Those type of herbs can tend to be a little bit bitter. So the sweetness actually doesn't come out as much, but I make just a plain simple elderberry syrup. My kids really love it, so sometimes I just don't even branch out to adding those types of things in it. When you have a cold, when you have the flu, the elderberry syrup itself is actually what you really want. So I make a pure, simple, I call it kind of a purist recipe because I am kind of a minimalist when it comes to this kind of stuff. And honestly, guys, I just really love the taste of elderberries. So let's go ahead and talk about the benefits of elderberries. So elderberry syrup in particular, but of course elderberries and elderberry syrup go hand in hand. So it's great for the kidneys, it's great for the liver, it's even great for the skin. It's great for infections. It has bioflavonoids and antioxidants in it. The antioxidants, of course, is what is probably really good for your skin. As we know, antioxidants are great for the skin. It's got polyphenols in it. It's an anti-allergy. remedy. So if you tend to have really severe allergies during the allergy season, so it can actually help to tone skin tissue. Of course, this might go more so into talking about the flower, but if you are taking in something, we know that the beauty of our skin, the health of our skin, starts from the inside out. So if we're ingesting lots of good antioxidants, if we're ingesting those polyphenols and those bioflavonoids, that's going to show in our skin, right? That's why a lot of people always talk about omega fatty acids. So it's kind of the same concept. What you eat is going to end up showing up on the outside of your skin as well. It helps with inflammation. It's an outward moving plant, which means that it helps to push out toxins. So it's a diaphoretic, so it's really good to help reduce fevers. It's a diuretic, so it helps you pee, so it might actually be good if you have urinary tract infections, but also too, it does kind of get the juices going in your intestines as well. So if you are starting to take this and you start out taking, say 2 tablespoons a day or something like that, don't be alarmed if like the next day or so you have a little bit of softer stool, because it will actually act as a slight laxative if your body is not used to taking it. But it is kind of recommended to take anywhere from a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons a day. Of course, you can start out with 1 tablespoon and kind of move up. The thing about elderberry and a lot of herbal remedies like this is that it's really important to understand that your body absorbs a lot of these wonderful nutrients within like the first, few days, few weeks of taking them. It is something that has to build up in your body though, just like a lot of other herbal things. So it's kind of recommended to take it for about 2 or 3 weeks every day, but then to take a week off, because your body builds up all of that stuff. And then, if you're taking it every single day, it's just kind of unnecessary. Your body stores things. So that 1 week that you aren't taking it, your body is actually using its reserves that has built up all of these wonderful properties in the elderberry, and it's being able to use it that week that you're not taking it. And you'll still have enough reserves, all the good properties in the elderberry syrup, to kind of sustain you for that following week that you end up starting up to retake it again. But also too, if you're somebody who's very used to taking elderberry syrup, like me, I'm just happy if I even remember to take my vitamins some days. So I'm kind of at the point where I'll take it for a couple days, I won't take it for a couple days. I'll take it for a couple days, I won't take it for a couple days. So that just kind of seems to work that's just kind of what seems to work best for me and my family. But if it is cold season, if it is flu season, if there is a virus out there, building it up in your system probably is a really good idea. So next to it being a diuretic, it's also an expectorant. So it'll help to move things out of the lungs. Now, of course, there is some controversy on whether or not elderberry syrup is recommended if you do acquire something like COVID, corona. I would definitely do some research on that, but nowhere have I found anybody saying that it's not recommended to use as a preventative, because the thing is that elderberry syrup is one of the best preventatives. It's actually been shown to help lessen the side effects and the length of the flu more than antibiotics. I mean, that's crazy. So what happens with the berries is that the elderberry syrup actually goes into your system, and what it does is it actually marks the virus so that your immune system can actually find it. It coats the cells to make it harder for the virus to actually get in, and it tells the body what to do when it encounters the virus. So this is kind of one of the reasons why it's so amazing at actually preventing sickness, and helping your body to heal faster. But one of the downsides, which they say about taking it while you have contracted COVID or corona, is because it has something called cytokines, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, in it, which it's something in the lungs that kind of helps to build these blocks. So I kind of think of elderberry as like soldiers that come in with these guns. And I know it's funny to think about it that way. But what happens when you get something like corona or COVID is that your body kind of goes into this shock anyways, because it's wondering what this foreign object is in its body. And it's thinking to itself, how can I get this out? Corona is one of those viruses that really kind of hits the lungs, especially if you have some built up toxins in the lungs, in your body. Maybe you have some health issues. Maybe you have asthma anyways. Maybe you're really susceptible to bronchitis and upper respiratory infections. Then COVID or corona is really going to kind of hit that lung area. You would think that because this is an expectorant and it helps to get things out of the lungs, that it might actually be really good for COVID. But the thing is that if you just start taking elderberry syrup when you get COVID because you think it's going to be a cure, elderberry is so powerful that it comes in with the big guns to find the virus so that it doesn't get in. But the thing is that the virus has already gotten in. So what happens is your body ends up swarming itself with soldiers and puts up the guns. It's looking for the virus. It sees the virus. The virus has already at that point probably spread itself and attached itself to your body in some sort of way. Your body is already working real hard to try to get rid of this virus. Now, what the elderberry does is it actually sends these like electrical units in your body that says, attack, attack. And at that point, if you have COVID, if you are susceptible to those upper respiratory infections, your body is actually working like 10 times harder than it needs to try to attack this virus, because that is what elderberry wants to do. It wants to find this virus so that it can grab onto it so that it doesn't spread in the body. So when your body is already working really hard to try to eliminate that virus, to try to tackle that virus, and then you jump in with the soldiers, your body could very likely kind of just feel like, man, what am I supposed to do? And it just makes it a little bit harder for your body to actually recover from COVID. But as a preventative, this could very well likely, if it works the way it's supposed to, the way that research has shown, it could actually keep you from having any type of symptoms whatsoever. It could attack the virus as soon as it sees it, because this is already built up in your system, and your body's going to be like, nah, man, you ain't allowed in, adios. And it's got the guns, and it's like, nah, I'm strapped up here. Like, you're not going nowhere. So that's what's amazing about elderberry. And it does that with all types of viruses. So elderberry is just one of those that it's old school, it's like tried and true, it's super powerful, and it's amazing for you. Not just to prevent you from getting sick, but also because of all of the great things that I had mentioned: the anti-inflammatory, the antiviral, the decongestant, the diaphoretic, it having the antioxidants and the polyphenols, and it being an anti-allergen, helping with the liver and to detox your body. So honestly, guys, if you've never taken elderberry syrup before, I highly suggest it. Like I said, visit my shop. The link is right in my bio. These are the little 4-ounce jars. I have 4 4-ounce jars and 3 8-ounce jars left. That is it. So once those are sold out, I'll need to wait for some more sales to come in so that I can make another batch, because it's really difficult for me to just kind of make an 8-ounce, make a 4-ounce, you know what I mean? So I like to at least have a few orders in before I go ahead and make it, because I want it to be as fresh as possible for you guys. I also do go ahead and label when I made the batch on here so that you know. You know, I have the directions, the ingredients, you know, so it's all there for you guys. I seal it. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you benefited from this video, and check out my shop and get yourself some elderberry. Adios.